Avitrea has long been a place of adventure, political intrigue, warring kingdoms, and survival. The peoples of Avitrea are hard folk, and the land is harder still. To thrive in this land, some require a little guidance. This is the Guildmaster's Guide to Avitrea. In it you may glean some knowledge of forming guilds, taking on quests, splitting parties, navigating pesky NPCs, delving in politics, and of course, gathering treasure. Guilds are important to the thriving economies of city-states and countrysides. A reputation is everything for a guild. Every guild has a name, heraldry, membership, and a purpose. Forming a guild takes some amount of coin, though not as much as some think. The process is all rather easy in the beginning, requiring some notoriety, the aforementioned fee, and a city guildmaster to add you to a ledger. City guildmasters are found in any settlement large enough to be classified as a city. Building a guild, which is not the same as forming one, requires time, effort, and work on the part of the player character. Your guild will not be fully formed out of the gate, and requires some level of upkeep and ingenuity, though we keep the math work at a minimum. Quests. Quests fall into three primary categories in Avitrea: story quests, hero quests, and guild quests. Story quests. These are the standard adventures parties will run into in their travels across the land, typically consisting of some urgency or need on the part of a random NPC. Plot hooks are commonly used as a way to lure players into story quests as a natural progression of story. Hero quests, not as common as the story quest variety. These quests are used as a method to develop your characters and earn unique personal rewards, and expand upon the history of what makes your character special. Usually, these quests will involve elements from an established backstory, passions your character holds dear, development a player may wish to undergo, or some combination thereof. Hero quests are not the story of Avitrea, but the story of your character. Guild quests, while not necessarily bound to the creation of a guild, players may run across more standard calls to aid, parchment requesting help, or optional NPCs during dialogue. These quests are particularly more specific and transactional in nature, and most guilds will find an abundance of such requests on a guild quest board. Splitting the party. In order to create a more exciting and compelling campaign, there may be times where players feel compelled to travel together, despite having different ideas in mind. I am here to remind you all that this is not the case. If your character wishes to split or form a new, smaller party, whether this is a one-off session or a more long-term focus, you may always reach out to the DM. Examples of good times to split the party would be as follows: hero quests, guild quests, adventure and exploration, and finally, any non-meta reason your party may have to split up. While this may be uncommon in other campaigns, I assure you that I will always entertain all conversations of splitting to craft a better experience in story. There may be times when this is not allowed, simply due to time constraints or other factors, but overall, it is a non-issue. Pesky NPCs and alignment. Many campaigns have stereotypes and a black and white sense of morality. Avitrea is not such a place. There may be times where players encounter villains they think are friends, and friends they think are villains. One must always be careful, as conventional role-playing game knowledge may be of little use in Avitrea. Unwary travelers may find themselves confused about how to proceed in most situations. I would suggest thinking of Avitrea as the real world. What would you do? More importantly, if your character existed and it was the real world, what would your character do? There is never a true, correct answer to most of these, but you may find the more you question, the more you find unique and unforeseen paths forward. While many NPCs you run into may have their own agenda, their own needs, these are all taken into consideration in every interaction, whether improv or not. You will find through your adventures in Avitrea that nearly every NPC has some level of depth, some more than others, so navigating around them may be harder than in other campaigns, or even video games, where all is predictable and repeated. My best advice would be to rely on your friends and speak your characters' minds, as some NPCs at higher levels will prove more and more difficult to navigate. This will be especially prevalent in potential guild quests requiring politics or negotiation. Politics. Politics is everywhere in Avitrea. The primary seat of higher-level politics would be in the major cities around the world. You may find many instances of lower politics, such as feuds between villages, disapproving fathers, and local lords causing a fuss. If you wish to engage in politics or ignore it, that choice will always be yours. There may be consequences to either getting involved or ignoring, so there is no net negative in either approach. Involving yourself in the political world of Avitrea may provide you with a sense of meaning in the land, enacting changes through dialogue, negotiation, and compromise. It can be appealing to some. Do not stifle your creativity in Avitrea, as the land surely needs you as much as any sword-wielding hero. In the form of guilds, this may become a focus of one or more of the players. As guilds are organizations first and foremost, that alone will surely give you a louder voice in the auditorium, as it were. Treasure. Some wish to be heroes. Some only want the intrigue of conversation. Others still are just plain greedy bastards. They like their damn loot and they want it yesterday. If you find your character being one such person, fear not. Avitrea has room for you as well. With a thriving economy, it is possible to pillage crypts, lairs, dungeons, and other such. These are often more adventurous means of gaining coin. However, it is also possible for players to perform higher level trade, create businesses of sorts, invest if they want, and much, much more. In the context of guilds, the easiest way to build revenue would be through business and trade. If you find yourself wanting both capital and role-playing, this would surely be a good way to play the story you want. Of course, your time won't always be filled with waiting around for returns on investments, but you may take interest in treasure hunting in the name of your guild. For now, this is all the advice I have on playing, surviving, and more importantly, having fun in Avitrea. I thank you all for watching, and hope you take the time to give this video a thumbs up, comment, and take any advice you wish.
Wearing wigs sucks.